Yo, what up, everybody? Um, we are on cut. We are on cut, right? Cut? No, Jubilee. She's dying. This person's mother. Do I mend my relationship with my abusive mother? She's dying.
Subjective
Personally, I mean, it depends on how bad it
situation though,
was.
because like when you have an abusive
How
person in your life, it's
bad was
really
it?
really hard to keep amends with them. So I think it does depend to like, have you tried before? Like what is the situation
Like,
like?
does her mother like thoroughly fucking hate her? I like drooled there for a minute. Does her mother thoroughly fucking hate her or hate them? If they do, don't mend that shit. But if the mother at least shows a little bit of sympathy or at least shows care, I guess you should try. But if your mother doesn't give a jack shit about you, don't try, bro. Do not try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't try at all. Oh my god, I'm gonna fuck this
My
shit
mom
up,
has
chat.
terminal brain cancer.
Chat, I'm gonna fuck this shit up. Mm. Oh my god. Mm.
I feel like I'm running out of time.
If that changed your decision, you guys are welcome to switch sides.
Fuck that. Fuck that.
I just wouldn't want you to regret. I've had the same type of thought, should I cut someone out of my life? But then I don't want to hold this anger and resentment for
I'm
this person
I'm still on the no side. Fuck that.
and die with this feeling.
I actually did experience that. My mother did pass of cancer, and I did not have a good relationship with her the majority of my life. I did not get her very long, but at least the last few years that we did have, we were able to have open conversations and me hear her perspective for the first time ever. And it gave me a very different view on things because as parents, I am a mother of 5. We do the best we can with what we have at the moment. To know I loved her, I knew she loved me, completely changed everything when she did pass on, which was 10 years ago.
I was raised in a cult-like religious community where my abuse occurred. Due to my mother's religious conditioning, she swept my abuse under the rug.
You guys have another chance to switch sides if you feel compelled to.
I'm still on the no side. Fuck that shit. Okay, a cult like religion. She was abused. I'm guessing sexually abused. Because religions have a tendency to be. Because religions have a tendency of where their main abuse is sexual abuse. I'm still no. Fuck that shit. Your mother swept that shit on the rug. Your mother didn't care that you were sexually abused. Fuck that shit, bro. You kidding me? That's nowhere.
It's difficult being in a
Uh,
cult.
if your parent sweeps you being abused under the rug, not caring, because their fucking religion matters more than their own child, fuck that person, bro. Are you kidding
Just
me?
thinking of being brainwashed, and that could have affected her mom. And maybe the cult was like encouraging to act like it didn't happen.
When parents show stress,
But that's her fucking mother. That is her child. You're telling me that religion has so much weight on her that she can't stand up for her own child, bro? No. No, I don't care. You can't convince me that the mother is not in the wrong. Brainwashing? Come on,
around
man.
a child, that kid
You have to want to join the cult. You have to want to join that
will
shit,
like pick
man.
up on the
Stop
stress,
it.
and maybe this was her attempt to maybe make it not hurt as bad, and like it's not the right thing to do, but maybe this was kind of her way of dealing with it.
I would just like to add, though, attempting to mend the relationship does not excuse the behavior.
Yes.
no,
definitely. Right.
It's more about understanding the context and trying to seek closure for yourself.
Exactly.
In her case, for
Yeah.
her. So.
A pastor of my church coerced and groomed me. He was married, I babysat his children. My abuse caused me to lose my community. When I had gotten strong enough to potentially try and bring it to light, my mom did have evidence of the abuse, and she chose to destroy it.
How many times have you tried to mend this relationship?
Probably for my whole life. My last contact with her was in April.
Oh, so basically she don't give a fuck about you. If you've tried to mend this relationship your whole life and she still doesn't care, just honestly, bro, stop. I don't give a fuck if she's dying. Like, respectfully, I don't give a fuck if she's dying. Her fault. That's her fault. That's her fault entirely, bro. She sacrificed her relationship with her own child because of her fucking because of her fucking religion.
I flew
Fuck out of here,
states
bro.
away to be with her,
Bullshit.
and she walked out of a room I was in, and that was how we said goodbye that day. I lived a pretty gaslit existence, and so I wasn't always aware of the abuse I lived.
I'm gonna tell you something real quick. Just because a person is your parent does not mean you are, what is that word, bro? What's the word I'm looking for? Does not mean that they're entitled to your forgiveness. You don't need to forgive your parent because they're your fucking parent. If they did something wrong to you, you don't need to forgive them for that.
Lived in. It's only been the last decade or so that I have learned about myself and what is right and normal. Sorry.
It's okay.
You do not have to apologize for being a human being.
For your personal peace and for you to find forgiveness, do you think that that requires a mended relationship with your mom?
At the time of her diagnosis, she had a 1% chance to live the next 5 years. It's been 1 year. With her diagnosis, it's clear to me that she's willing to die with this. And that is so extreme to me. She has asked me questions like, well, think of his children. She's befriended his ex-wife, who is the wife he was married to when all of this happened. And it feels really extreme. It feels bad to know that my mother is suffering and to not be able to comfort her in the way that I wish. But in order to do that, it really feels like I'm letting myself down. And I'm the only one that's going to stand up for myself. There's nobody else.
Personally, I don't think I could forgive anyone who would let me just get sexually abused. Who just wouldn't care. Well, whatever. And then to the extent of destroying the evidence of it even happening is crazy to me, bro. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy.
Else. And so to appease her death so she can have a peaceful death when my life has been so tumultuous, I can't.
Bro, like,
Every
she
day
has
wins
given her
make your
whole
day
life
that
to
much
try
better.
and mend a relationship with her mother. Her mother. She cares so much for her mother, even though her mother let all this bad shit happen to her. And the mother still don't give a fuck. Bro, fuck that bitch, man. Disrespectfully fuck that bitch. Fuck, no respectfully. Nah, I don't got no respect for your mama. Your mama don't got no respect for you. So why would I have respect for your mama if she don't respect you? Fuck that bitch, man. Get her out of here. Put a plug on that bitch.
I understand.
This is tough. Your mother doesn't deserve to have that peace. And I feel like mending that relationship is going to give her peace. And you're not going to have that because you've had a traumatic life.
I totally understand the boundaries. I agree with all of your points, but this is your mother. Things don't just go away over time.
I don't give a fuck. Just because that is your mother does not mean she is entitled to your forgiveness. I don't give a fuck who it is. I don't give a fuck.
I think that's the biggest lie. Time heals things. No, it does not. You addressing your things heals things. And so you have an opportunity to do that, and she doesn't have much time left to.
Sorry to kind of counteract the whole thing where it's like, it's your mom, like blood only goes so far. And her being blood related to you doesn't excuse everything that she's done.
I kind of disagree a little bit. I think it definitely doesn't excuse. If she doesn't want to take accountability, that's on her, right? That's not your problem anymore. But for your own sake and for your own peace of mind, I think it's really important that you really give it your all, especially in this crucial time that you have.
I was wondering, what do you need in this moment to feel like safe and secure?
I don't know. I would like validation.
See, here's the thing. When it comes to things, a lot of people don't know. They think, maybe if I just get an apology, that's it. But an apology doesn't undo things. An apology, mending a relationship, doesn't undo the things they let just happen. The things they did. It doesn't undo that. I'm sorry that happened. What does that do? That doesn't heal anything. That doesn't do anything. It's a word. A word can't turn back time. A word can't erase that shit from your memory. A word cannot erase your trauma. That shit doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't matter anymore. It happened. Your mother obviously doesn't give a fuck. You said you tried to mend a relationship your whole fucking life. If that's true, and your mother hasn't even given you a fucking eye, a look at you, to even give a fuck, she befriended them? She befriended the whole family? Come on, man. I don't care if this is the person you trust the most. Fuck them.
I would like to feel loved. I would like to feel a part of something.
Do you currently have a support system? And if so, what does that look like for you?
That's been really hard. That's been a trending struggle in my life because I feel like I've carried around feeling like an outcast. I feel like I've been chosen over and that I am not worth even my mother's care or concern.
My biggest concern about this whole video is that I feel like this is something you shouldn't have the inputs from people with. I feel like this is a thing that you need to consider yourself and only by yourself. Because people could tell you no, people could tell you yes, but at the end of the day, it's completely your decision. And influence, influence is a strong thing. Influence is a strong thing. And I feel like things like this shouldn't be influence. I feel like this needs to be a genuine decision that you sit down and actually think about by yourself. This is your mother, right? We also got to take account all the things that she has done and let slide on you. I don't. I feel like other people's input doesn't really fucking matter. I don't. I feel like other people's input doesn't really matter on this except yours.
So finding community with that on my back has
I get some people can't really make decisions themselves, so they seek out help. At the end of the day, it's still, even if you get the input of others, it's still up to you.
been a very big deal. I I do have a spouse and I do have a 6-year-old son. And they're the best things in my life.
It just seems like it's at a point where she's tried everything.
Her mother must have value because she wouldn't be doing all this.
I think she's actually found her peace. If her mom wasn't sick, I don't think she would be in this situation right now. The diagnosis brought up a lot of pent up anger inside of her that she now wants to put out.
If her mother dies and looks back and says, I wish I did this, I wish I did that, I think that's gonna end up eating her even worse.
The ground zero should be, what does she want?
Yeah. Exactly. What does she want? What does she need?
We all agree that it is better to regret doing something than not doing something. You never know what it's like when someone's on their deathbed. And so we just feel like keeping the door open.
Wait, what? It's better to regret doing something than not doing something? That shit don't even make sense. That doesn't make sense at all. That doesn't make sense.
Is better than keeping the door closed.
You just said don't do it. It's better to regret than not do anything. That's that's that. Did what?
Listening to what you stated that you wanted. You wanted to feel loved and you wanted validation. You can achieve those things without mending the relationship through support systems, finding therapy, finding a community. You have the love from your family on your side. So for that reason, we said you should not mend it.
She's
Have
leaning
you
to the
made
right.
your
I don't
decision?
know. I wanted to say no, bro.
Yes.
It just seems like a really toxic relationship. Let's see. Thank you.
Like you guys said, I can offer myself the things that I need moving forward. And
Like you have your husband, you have your son, right? It's a son, right? She's a 6-year-old. I don't. She has her kid. Okay. She has her husband. She has her kid. I think you probably should just focus on that for now. Your mother seems to not give a fuck about you, so.
mending the relationship takes a lot of energy and takes me back to a lot of places that I've already moved through. Both boxes really suck for me. And I like the possibilities in this box more.
On the show, that was the first time I've ever talked about it. I came away feeling like maybe I had a powerless attitude towards it, and it didn't have to be that way. You know, I have spoken to pretty much everyone now about this situation, so I decided to get in contact with law enforcement and have a conversation with the detective, just going over what happened to me.
Was there any part of you that wanted to reach out to your mom when you did reach out to law enforcement?
It's a lot harder to do when interacting in real time. I find myself more thinking of writing her letters to just know that I'm expressing myself, and so I'm hoping that will serve for some kind of olive branch. You know, since opening up that dialogue with the jury, I have found myself much more open
The
to
jury, bro.
finding a middle
These are
ground.
civilians. The jury. You're